Welcome to The Explainer. So glad you're here. Today, we're unpacking a highly requested and honestly incredibly common experience. Like, have you ever just been going about your day, everything is perfectly fine, and suddenly, bam, you feel this huge surge of intense frustration? Well, we're going to explore the hidden roots of unexplained anger. We'll look at exactly why we sometimes feel suddenly furious for absolutely no obvious reason, and much more importantly, how to decode what our body is actually trying to tell us.
I want you to just picture this. You're having a completely normal day, right? Nothing major has happened at all. There's been no big argument, no massive obvious trigger. But suddenly, out of nowhere, you feel incredibly irritated. You're tense, you're snappy, and it feels like something inside of you is literally just about to boil over. And the absolute worst part of this whole experience, you really don't even know why it's happening.
Okay, let's dive into this. Because when anger seems to just come out of nowhere, it can feel super confusing and honestly kind of scary. It's so common to sit there and worry, am I a bad person? Why am I so irritable lately? Like, what is fundamentally wrong with me? But I want to immediately validate what you're feeling here. Most of the time, there is absolutely nothing wrong with you. Your nervous system is simply overwhelmed. Just like unexplained sadness, unexplained anger has deeper, hidden signals attached to it. To understand this, we need to clear up a massive misconception. So let's look at Section 1, the myth of no reason, and why your body actually knows before your brain does.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the core concept here. Anger almost never happens for literally no reason. It just appears for unseen reasons. See, your nervous system is constantly humming away in the background, right? It's tracking stress, overstimulation, unmet needs, emotional overload, all of it. And often, your conscious mind just hasn't caught up to the tally yet, but your body definitely has. So the anger you're feeling right now, it's actually a delayed release valve. It's not a brand new emotion at all. It is the release, not the beginning.
Let's see how this builds into our diagnostic checkup with Section 2, the 3 hidden roots, or what's really happening beneath the surface.
So hidden root number 1 is suppressed emotions that are finally, leaking out. If you're someone who tends to avoid conflict, or you bottle things up, or you just put your head down and push through stress, your anger might just be delayed. When our emotions don't get processed in real time, they don't just magically disappear. No way. They accumulate. And then one tiny little inconvenience, like a slow driver in front of you, a really loud noise, dropping your pen, becomes the final straw. That slow driver isn't the cause of your anger. They just released what was already sitting there, waiting to get out.
Moving on to hidden root number 2, nervous system overload. Sometimes anger is literally just a biological stress response wearing an aggressive disguise. When your system is totally overwhelmed by poor sleep, chronic stress, sensory overload, or burnout, your emotional regulation drastically drops. Your emotional reserves get completely depleted, and as a result, your patience buffer shrinks to almost zero, which makes incredibly small things suddenly feel overwhelmingly big. And this brings us to hidden root number 3, unmet needs. Honestly, this one surprises a lot of people. Sometimes, anger is simply your body desperately trying to say, hey, something is not okay here. We often call anger a boundary emotion. It's an emotion that shows up specifically to protect you when something in your environment, or just your life in general, is making you feel pressured, unsafe, overwhelmed, or unseen. Reframing anger as a biological signal rather than some kind of personality flaw, that changes everything. So what exactly are the unmet needs driving these boundary emotions? Well, here's a quick checklist of hidden triggers. I want you to mentally check off if any of these resonate with your day. Are you hungry? Exhausted? Are you experiencing overstimulation? Have you had a major lack of alone time lately? Are you feeling unheard by a partner or maybe a colleague? Or are you dealing with emotional neglect? Literally any single one of these can activate that sudden, unexplained snap of anger. And this brilliantly illustrates our next point. Let's look at Section 3, the body's alarm system, and how we can start recognizing the physical symptoms of pent-up anger. You see, pent-up anger is a deeply visceral, completely physical experience. You might notice a tight, clenched jaw, or maybe you find yourself taking really shallow breaths, or feeling this heavy pressure sitting right on your chest. Maybe you feel a sudden heat rising in your face, a flush of red, or just this intense, restless energy that makes you feel a strong urge to snap at people. I want to be very, very clear here. This isn't because you want conflict. This is simply your nervous system entering fight mode because it mistakenly thinks it needs to protect you from a threat.
So what do we actually do when we feel that pressure building and those physical signs starting to take over? Well, our ultimate goal for this explainer is empowerment. Welcome to Section 4, the Regulation Toolkit, where we'll cover 4 practical strategies to safely release that pressure.
Here is your clear, manageable path to taking control right back from a hijacked nervous system. We have 4 key steps here. Step 1, name it early. Step 2, check the body. Step 3, ensure a safe pressure release. And finally, Step 4, containment. Let's walk through exactly how to execute each one of these.
Strategy number 1 is incredibly simple, but man, is it powerful. Name it early. The very moment you feel that heat in your face or that tight jaw, try telling yourself, out loud or even just in your head, I'm feeling irritated right now. That's it. Just label it. By putting a name to the emotion, you actually help your brain shift out of pure raw reactivity. You bring the feeling into your conscious awareness, and that activates your brain's regulation systems before the anger can completely hijack you.
Okay, strategy number 2 is to check the body first. Look, before you start spinning a whole narrative in your head and overanalyzing the situation, like before you decide your coworker is definitely out to get you, ask yourself these physical questions. Am I tired? Am I hungry? Am I just overstimulated? Am I physically tense right now? Honestly, sometimes the absolute fastest anger relief is entirely physical. Drink a big glass of water. Eat a snack. Step outside for some fresh air. Stretch your shoulders out. Unclench your jaw right now. It sounds way too simple, I know, but solving a physical need first often immediately diffuses that emotional spike. Now, if the anger is still lingering, we move to strategy number 3, safe pressure release. Remember earlier when we said pent-up anger is stored physical activation? Well, it's energy, and it literally needs movement to leave your body. You have to physically work it out to complete the biological stress cycle. Some really healthy outlets for this include fast, aggressive walking, literally shaking out your arms and legs, squeezing a stress ball, or really any form of high-energy cardio. Or, a personal, highly productive favorite, take all of that furious, restless energy and use it to furiously clean your room. And strategy number 4 is containment. Notice I said containment rather than suppression. You absolutely do not have to solve the anger immediately. We so often feel this desperate, urgent need to fix the problem right this second, right? Solving the anger immediately. But sometimes the healthiest move you can make is giving the emotion space. You just say to yourself, I notice I'm really activated right now. I'm going to give myself a moment. Giving the emotion space to just exist and settle down is often so much healthier and honestly much faster than aggressively fighting it or trying to force a solution while your brain is still stuck in fight mode. Now, it's really important to acknowledge that while occasional, unexplained anger is a deeply, deeply human thing, there are times when it points to something a bit heavier. Let's look at Section 5, when to seek extra support, and recognizing when anger signals a deeper issue.
If you find yourself nodding along to these signs, it might just be time to consider getting some extra support. You really want to pay closer attention if you notice frequent outbursts that you just can't seem to control, a baseline of constant irritability, anger that is actively damaging your relationships, feeling on edge the vast majority of your days, or if this anger is tightly paired with things like depression or anxiety. These signs can point to deeper underlying factors, right? Things like chronic stress, burnout, trauma activation, mood disorders, or a more serious nervous system dysregulation. And in these cases, getting professional support can be incredibly effective. It helps way more than you might think.
As we wrap up this explainer, I really want to leave you with this one core thought. If you have ever felt angry and just didn't fully understand why, please remember this. You are not losing control. Your mind and your body are just trying, perhaps a bit imperfectly, to get your attention. They are literally just trying to protect you. Bringing a little more clarity and honestly, a whole lot more self-compassion to those moments, that can change absolutely everything.
So, the next time you feel that sudden, unexplained flash of heat, I want you to take a deep breath, don't judge yourself at all, and just ask this one simple question. What is my anger actually trying to tell me